Brandon J. McLaren, SPD Red, Jack Landers.
Jason Faunt, Time Force, Wes and Alex.
Dan Southworth, Mark Leonard, Divergence. Eric Myers, Time Force.
What's up, y'all? Steve Cardenas, Rocky DeSantos, Red Power Ranger.
We're all Red Power Rangers, buddy. Yes, he gets to say that. He gets to say the. He was one of the first.
Wait, no, would Jason be the?
Yeah, Jason is actually the one, but he's not here, so we're...
De facto, Steve Cardenas is the.
What's up, everybody? Nice hat.
I love your shirt.
I got this shirt especially for the I saw it at this shop and I was like, oh, I gotta pick this up.
Acting like love. Right on. I like that. Did I wear that when I'm coordinating? Go over well with the action. Nice.
So what questions do we have?
Oh, yeah.
I want to know from all you guys, how would it feel, like what was your experience as a Red Ranger and how did it make you feel?
I felt very red. Do you want me to elaborate? What are the Red Rangers would like me to elaborate? Well, it was cool. It was a chance to play a superhero, and that was more cool than what color it was. My season with Jason here, we had an interesting season because there were 2 Red Rangers that season, so it was a very interesting conflict between us. And that was kind of strange. I didn't get to own the spot myself. I had to share it with homeboy over here.
Wait, well technically weren't there 3? Because there was, what's his name before Wes? And then Wes was just like his backup dude.
That's right, Alex. That's right, Alex. That's a very good question.
Now I really feel like Jason got to play 2 Red Rangers, and I was only the 3rd Red Ranger. Oh, okay, that's all right.
No, it was a great experience. It was a lot of fun doing it, and it was like playing 2 characters was a lot of fun. To play one, of course, Alex, like you mentioned, and great observation by the way. But it was great. We had a lot of great fans and a lot of kids that were coming from Make-A-Wish Foundation, so it was a lot of fun to be part of that.
Okay, thank you. By the way, Jason, you're my favorite.
Thanks, buddy.
You just told me at the restaurant I was your favorite. You just wanted a free autograph. That's what it is. I know.
Okay, this question is for all of you guys. When auditioning, was the Red Ranger your first choice?
We didn't have a choice, no.
Like, were you trying to try that for that part? Like, were you going for that?
I know that when I auditioned, I actually auditioned with Steve Cardenas for the original, when he got originally hired. We were all screen tested. They put us up in a hotel for a week in Burbank, and we would all go in and say these lines and do our martial art forms, and none of us knew which ranger. We just had to say what they said.
I didn't even know they were going to actually replace any of the Rangers. I
didn't
thought
yet.
they were adding more to the cast, you know?
So, and then the result of that screen test was, of course, Johnny Bosch and Steve Cardenas ended up working on the show, and I ended up taking a longer route to get there.
Hey, you got there, man.
I got there. So, pretty happy. I don't know what it looks like for you guys.
For me, after I screen tested, I was told that I wasn't I wasn't in the mix for any of the parts initially. Really? Yeah, and then I got a call 3 weeks later saying you're the Red Ranger. I'm like, so no, I had no idea, but it was a pleasant surprise for sure.
Yeah, for ours, the audition process was, gosh, I want to say it was over the course of 2 or 3 months. It was, we would go in there, we would audition, we would hear it for a couple of weeks, keep auditioning for other things, and a couple weeks go by, they'd have you come back, wouldn't hear anything, have you come back. So it was a long, drawn-out process, and I think they kind of had figured what they wanted for that season. So there was never really an option. I just knew I was reading for the Red Ranger.
I got a chance to sit in on casting once when I had come back after working on Time Force, and they were letting me see how they were going to pick the new season, which was Wild Force.
Wild Force, yeah.
And I would come into the casting and watch the actors audition, and I felt nervous for them because they were nervous and they were all trying to get a job. They would just take all the pictures and line them up and go, well, what if we do this way? No, I like it. These three. Oh, these three look very heroic. And I'm sitting there and watching them switch around 15 people's lives. Wow. No, I like this one. Okay, let's read all of these three together and see how they act. And that's kind of how the casting went. And you understand it has to go that way because you've got to get the right mix of chemistry with these 5 people that have to work with each other for the next year, day in, day out. Or in this guy's case, a couple of years. We were almost asked back for a second.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. As I go off on my tangent.
This question is for Dan. How was it working with 1,000 Pounds when you played Ryu on that YouTube channel?
So for those of you who don't know, there's a short film out there called Tekken Cross, Street Fighter Cross Tekken. Look it up. And I played the character Ryu. And it was a delightful surprise because I originally turned the role down. They came to me and they're like, hey, would you do this? We don't have a lot of money. We'd like to have you come in. And my first thought was, I kind of want to do another short film, karate short. Have me running around in pajamas. And this is going to be ridiculous. And so, without not really knowing these guys, I wasn't really interested. Plus, I just finished shooting a Revolution, the new NBC television show that's coming out September 17th. I'm in the first episode, and I just come off doing that and another show, and I'm trying to, I'm at this point in my career where I'm like, okay, I'm only going to do good work from here on out. Like you have any control over that, really, when you're an actor. So it was Ruben Langdon and Mark Musashi, and actually Mark Musashi came on to my show, Divergence, and he was so helpful that when he said to me, I really wanted a chance to work with you on this, I went, that's it doesn't matter what it costs. That guy was such a team player for my show. Whatever he needed, I was going to show him to do. And that included running around barefoot in the snow. At which point I said, this is what I was thinking when I didn't want to do this. No trailers, no hot food. But you know what? That group of people they were great to work with. I anticipate a tremendous amount of success for them. They're getting ready to put together a movie right now. I think they just got successfully funded on Kickstarter. You guys should look out for them. Very good, very enthusiastic. And it was such a pleasure. And my lesson learned there was, say yes to more things. There you go.
Thank you.
My question's for Steve. If you would have been able to come back for the Forever Red episode, would you have worn the Tyranno Ranger costume or the Red Ninja costume?
I honestly don't know because when they asked me to do that reunion show, I didn't really know that it was going to be like only Red Rangers. They didn't explain anything like that to me. I thought it was going to be just like the old cast getting together for a reunion show. I had no idea what. And then, so I don't know. I don't know in what capacity they would have had, but maybe the Red Ninja Ranger, I have no idea.
You know what the real answer to that is? You show up and they go, this is what you're wearing. You go, thank you. Very happy to be here again.
Cool, thank you.
All right, first of all, I want to say that the Red Ranger has been my favorite Ranger as a kid.
Oh, you're welcome.
And all of you are great Red Rangers.
Thank you.
So my question to you is that if you were able to Would all of you come back to do a reunion episode of Power Rangers and be the Red Ranger, like get in the suit and stuff?
Only if they put an espresso machine in my trailer.
Yeah, only if Dan and I can share a trailer.
Jason and I shared a trailer. I have a funny story about that. That's for 18 and over.
Yeah, that came last night.
Of course I would come back. It was a great show to work on. I would come back. Well, what's starting to happen with the show now is Saban has taken it back and some of the old crew are coming back together. And I would definitely come back to see the old crew because they were great to work with. And of course the original directors, and some of them are still there, the choreographers, and the stunt team. So I'm very proud of the work we did on that show. And if I can only speak for myself, then I'm very proud of the work I did on that show. It was a lot of fun. It was a very good learning experience. And I would come and play with those guys any day.
Yeah, just echo that. It was our season. We had a great cast. We had almost an extended family with that. So that was my experience on it. And of course, it was one of the better jobs I've ever had, just because of how close we all were. So to come back, without a doubt.
Well, I didn't really like the rest of the cast, but
until Dan joined the show, then things got a little bit chippy.
Early on.
Yeah, I'd love to come back. Can we make that happen? Can we make
that happen? Hey, is Saban here right now? Let's go make that happen. Let's all march up. No, somebody said, no, don't do that. Who was that?
Facebook page.
There you go.
All right, thank you. And oh, by the way, Dan, you are my favorite Ranger ever.
Thank you very much.
Didn't he say he'd give you $5 for that? I heard that, thank you.
This question is for Dan and Jason. Both of you guys have worked mocap for 2 different games. I was just wondering what it was like working mocap as compared to actual TV.
We actually worked on the same game together.
Yeah.
It was pretty strange to come and go, Jason, Dan!
Yeah, we can finally announce it. I mean, with Resident Evil 6 coming out, Dan and I both worked on that. October 2nd that comes out. So it was very different. It was my first motion capture experience. I know Dan's done quite a few games before that, but I liked it. I mean, I liked it because when we ran the scenes, it was more, it wasn't so chopped up like film. It was more like theater because we could just let them run through. So it was fun to let scenes play through for a bit. Film work and TV, it's usually so quick and choppy. So it was nice to let it run through. So I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun.
You do get a chance to own more of the character in motion capture because they can capture more of it. And it's 3D, so it doesn't matter what camera angle the director might be thinking of. Everything is being captured at once. Discover which camera angles they want to use later, if they have pre-visualized in their heads. And so you get to play more and do more stuff. The drawback a little bit of that is that there's no real set. You're on a big giant grid, and there's 150 cameras all around you. It looks like a bunch of big red mean eyes, because they have these red glowing circles. And they're infrared cameras to pick up the reflection off of your reflectors, which are these little rubber balls, often tear off your body when you're training the stunts. But that means that you have to imagine the world in your head. It has to be there in your head, and sometimes we're a little bit off. No, I thought I was imagining the hill over here. No, I'm imagining the hill over here. No, I think the hill should be over here. Actually, it doesn't really happen that way with the actors. They tell us where the hill is. They have the schematics drawn out, but you still have to imagine everything there. It's not like when you see guys riding a motorcycle or a horse, it's usually a sawhorse or a crate. And we have to sort of fill it in with the motion and make it feel good. So that's a little bit challenging.
Even though someone kind of asked the question already, I'm going to ask anyway. So you have the 20th anniversary of Power Rangers coming up. Do you believe that there should be a Forever Red Part 2?
When Forever Red happened, I thought, oh my God, that's too soon, man. So like right about now is where I feel Forever Red should have happened in my own career in life.
And much longer than a half-an-hour show.
Yeah.
And that can be extended.
A Forever Blue pen, and I can be on that one too.
Forever Red should be 2 hours.
And I can get paid for 2 shows. Forever Pink. Security.
Hey, I wouldn't mind being lost in an episode of Forever Pink.
So my question is for everyone. In terms of very creative wardrobes and like off the suit, is there like a favorite like jacket or prop that you guys like wanted to keep from the show or things like that? Because there's some, whenever I watched any of like the past shows and one of the recent shows, I'm like, that's a really nice jacket. Those are really cute shoes. Do you ever think of that as you're looking through like your wardrobe or anything like that?
If you ever watch the Time Force episodes, you'll notice that I'm trying to get that damn red beret off my head as much as possible. It's not a real military beret, so it wouldn't fluff out like the Marshmallow Man. It's just like, my God, man. So that piece of wardrobe I actually tested. Tried to get rid of as much as I could. At the end of every season, they have a wardrobe sale. I actually bought boots that you wore on the motorcycle whenever he was riding the motorcycle. I bought Carlos Medina's diesel pants for like $10. Your boots were like $5. When I wore those for probably the next 6 or 7 years. A few of those pairs of pants and those boots. I bought Austin St. John's big red star shirt. And I wore that for a while too. I thought that was cool. That's as far as it got for me.
Yeah.
Do you remember what era I was in? That was like the early 90s?
You could probably bring back the rip, like, vest thing and still rock it. I think so.
Vest?
Yeah, it's like little sleeve.
Oh, the vest with no shirt?
Yeah.
That was a good look. They just tried to make me sort of like, because that's what Austin used to wear. And so they tried to like, well, if we're going to replace Austin completely, you better like put some of the same kind of like outfits on him, So I had to wear these like sleeveless vests.
Did you wear that red shirt with the star on it?
No. This has been Austin.
It turned pink after a while. I had to let it go.
Well, no, I mean, I took everything that I wanted. I asked them politely at the beginning, I'm like, can I have that? And they said no. I'm like, all right, I'm going to take it then. So I have my jacket, and I have my morpher, and I have my t-shirt. Yeah, I took it all.
Really, I couldn't very well wear that paramilitary outfit where I went. So, I just look a little ridiculous. Especially with that red bandana beret.
Yeah, for mine, I had the business attire on all the time, so that got old for me. But when the earlier episodes of Time Force, if you remember, I was on the motorcycle as Wes. And the leather coat, the motorcycle, that was much more fun, much more who I would want to be. Yeah, so that would be the one outfit. But unfortunately, I had to go back to rich kid business dad. So, yeah.
He's got the shirt.
That's right there. That's exactly what I wore. Was that on purpose?
Yeah.
That's exactly right there. That was my outfit. Yeah.
From the end of the series.
That's it.
Somebody was kind of touching on this earlier, but I'm just going to kind of go a little further into that. So we've got a couple.
Yes, Dan has a crush on me.
All right, so a couple of actors who were previously in Power Rangers have been involved in different games that have been produced by Capcom. So is that at all ironic that it's all been the same company, or?
No, Ruben Langdon owns a company that works closely with Capcom, and he was a stuntman on the show. He was actually Sentai Ranger in Japan. He came to, was he B-Fighter? I think that's B-Fighter. Which may or may not, I don't know, I'm not, correct me, please, that's probably not Sentai, is that?
Beetleborgs.
That's Beetleborgs, yeah. And then he came to Los Angeles as a stuntman, started working on the show, that's how I met him. And he worked for Sammo Hung, and he just started to build his company. And then what happens when you're working on a show is that you go on to work on other shows, you remember the people you enjoyed working with, people did a good job. So pull them along with you. Would have been happy to think that about me and Jason. I don't know why I thought that about Jason.
Yeah, Ruben's working with them, and yeah, he stayed in touch.
Yeah, not so much a coincidence in that sense.
And then second of all, I have a buddy who's actually at Revelations this weekend, and he uses Virgil as his anchor. Can I get a voice request?
Sure, what's the voice request?
Mike controls everything.
Mike controls everything, Dante.
All right, thanks a lot.
Great, now I gotta zoom out.
I heard there's a red little panel galleries I had to crash into. Sorry, but yeah, this was definitely something that should have been at least an hour.
Tell them your name and this incarnation, just for the.
I played the role of Cole Evans, Red Ball Force Ranger. I think it was like season 10. So yeah, my season I was really lucky to be able to fall on the first 10-year anniversary. I had all these guys come back. It was pretty cool. I personally feel like it should have been a movie. It should have definitely. Wasn't he amazing? Like fighter. This guy's a main actor, fighter. Daniel Southworth. This guy, you can fight and you can act. That's a skill.
That's very nice. That's very nice.
Man, you're really, really good. Yeah.
I'll buy you beer after.
How do you feel about being the leader of the Power Rangers?
To all of us, there can be only one.
I was never the leader, actually. The Red Ranger got demoted when the White Ranger came in. I got demoted from the Red Ranger to the Blue Ranger, so I was never the leader.
You're talking about the leader over the other colors. Oh, okay.
It was an honor. I mean, how many are there in history? 22. There you go. That's good company.
How many are there? 22, 24, 7, 80, 56. We can count the Japanese. 300, 400.
Jason and then Ricardo, how did you feel about being the leaders?
To be honest, I was just like, I just wanted to work. For like 4 years, I tried to get on the Power Rangers series, and they just said no, for whatever reason. And finally, they took a chance with me. And for me, I was just more or less in the moment. And I was first a fan before anything else. I grew up on the show. I remember coming home around 3 p.m. after like going to school and making myself a grilled cheese, putting it on Cake Out 9, and watching it. And years later, I'm on it. So definitely, I was always a fan first. And we're definitely, this is a special family. That we
Let me not take away from what he said earlier. There aren't very many people who get the opportunity to be where we had a chance to be. So I'm very appreciative of that. And it feels pretty great.
Jason needs to give his answer.
Yep. And echoing some of what they said, I wasn't, what I think would have been neat is when I got on the show, had I watched it when I was younger, I wasn't as familiar with it, but as it came to fruition, as I was on the show, years later now, meeting all these great fans, I mean, all the letters we've gotten in fan mail, it's such an honor to be here. And you guys make it possible. I mean, this is absolutely amazing. And let me just tell you, you guys always come up and say it's so neat to meet you. It's so great to meet you guys, because this doesn't happen without you, and we thank you.
Absolutely.
How was playing the Red Ranger? How has it helped to build leadership in your own lives?
Oh, that's a good question. That's an interview question.
Yeah. I was constantly trying to steal my way to the top. Fight tooth and nail. Yeah, maybe it's exactly why I haven't gotten anywhere in my career. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. We'll start at this end, and I'll think of my answer by the time it gets to me.
You know, I mean, you know, the writers kind of write in, you know, all the leadership qualities into the character, and so, you know, you kind of assume them. They kind of infuse themselves into you as the season goes on. And, you know, it's all about, you know, working with others, leading by example, you know, and making, you know, good choices.
You know, I just think being on the show, like I said, the experiences that we've had, I think it really makes you grateful and for who you are, and I think it maybe humbles you as a person. You kind of go through years of in Hollywood and auditioning for things, and you have fellow actors, and you see how lucky you've been. For me personally, it humbled me because I realized how fortunate that I was. The end. Scene.
It was my first opportunity to play a series lead in a show and co-carry a show. And so for me, it was a tremendous confidence builder in my own career. I owe much of where my career is and any of it to Koichi Sakamoto for pushing me through casting and allowing me. At the time, I was a stuntman and nobody wanted to take me seriously about being an actor. Koichi gave me my shot. And after that, I had the confidence to go out and pursue that. And I've made a decent career for myself so far, and I'm doing all right because of it. It's because of the confidence I was able to build from getting to play that character on that show.
For me, you know, I think it, I mean, I was always an instructor, a martial arts instructor, but it really, you know, gave me the opportunity to open up my own studio so I could teach and kind of pass that knowledge on, you know, to other people and try to help sort of, in a sense, sort of replace myself a little bit and get as many people that I could to learn martial arts because it's so beneficial for you. So anybody that's out there, you should definitely try to get involved. And if you're in my area, you can come to Force Balance BJJ. Force Balance, that's right. Got some of my students here, man. They're here. I think one of them's probably going to ask a question later. They're probably going to embarrass me now. I'm going to say, oh, now I'm getting put in an arm lock right now. Oh, look at that.
I'll just make it fast. For me, like, to be honest, I mean, without divulging too much of my personal life, the happiest I've ever been in my life was when I was working on Power Rangers. And then, you know, 10 years later, I got a chance to go back as you know, a samurai in New Zealand. And man, looking back at everything, pushing rewind, it's definitely was the funnest, happiest time I've ever had. And being able to go back and doing it all over again, that's why I mentioned earlier how humbling it was, because when I was in it, I was definitely in the moment, and it comes and goes. And then after your season's over, then they recast, and then, you know, you're just back in the grind, trying to find that next gig. And there's no guarantees that we're ever going to work ever again. So man, I'm just glad I was able to make a little dent into this world, into this, you know, it's basically, obviously, you guys would all agree, you know, Power Rangers is basically American pop culture. You know, this is basically pop culture here. So I'm just glad I made my little dent in it. And man, when I heard that you guys were on stage, I had to go, okay, I gotta stop what I'm doing. I gotta go back to the podium because I need to be with you guys.
Before we take the next question, let me say something real quick. You can't have superheroes without damn good villains. And let me introduce to you, everyone, TJ Rotolo. Stand up, TJ. Come on up here and have a seat with us, just in case somebody wants to ask you a question. Come on. TJ Rotolo not only was a stuntman who doubled the actors on the show, played stunts, played civilians that were getting crushed by big giant egg monsters, he was also the guys we fought in the villain suits. So give it up for TJ. If you guys have any questions for some of the monsters on the show, ask him.
Okay, this one goes out to all you guys, including the monster. So, prior to joining Power Rangers, did any of you guys have any previous martial arts training or experience?
I did not.
I spent 3 years training Jiu-Jitsu with Bert Richardson down in Redondo Beach. So it was limited, but I spent almost 3 years doing that. But once I got on the show, I met guys that really knew martial arts.
I learned everything I know how to do from Kung Fu Theater on Sunday. And, that included a little... Actually, I wrestled in high school for 7 years. Did judo competitively for 2. Well, because there's a program before you get into high school. I know that sounds funny. There's a freestyle program, so from junior high into high school. And then I did judo competitively for 2 years. I fought full contact taekwondo for 10 years.
So no experience at all.
I did Jiu-Jitsu also. I'm actually getting my instructorship in a form of Jiu-Jitsu. Now I'm doing BJJ and I'm taking it with Steve. And so martial arts has really been a lot of who I am and how I developed into what I am today. Before I became a Power Ranger.
Yeah, I also had martial arts training. I started training Taekwondo when I was 12. And so when I got on the show, I already had 8 years of martial arts experience. And then I've been doing it ever since as well too, training Taekwondo and also Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which I have a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and a 5th degree black belt in Taekwondo as well.
Monster.
Well, I mean, it's not, sorry, man. I feel like I'm coaching. But the main thing is that the main emphasis was on performance, and it always seems to me that the person themselves, character, actually, because once people were cast, they were put through everyone was put through kind of boot camp when the stunts are working out, because there's a particular style of action that these shows fall into. And so everyone was put through kind of boot camp. And what sort of was the key point was character, and you were as a performer. And of course, yeah, some movement facility came in, but there was, I love her to death, but on Time Force there was Debbie, who was referred to as on the stunt team, she was affectionately referred to as like the new country act. You worked with her, and she was a real trooper, and we loved working with her. But that was an example of someone who had no business doing it. But we worked with her, and her performance skills came out, and we loved her. That was the main emphasis. So everyone on, everyone up is here, regardless of actual physical traits, there's their character.
Could you tell us some of your most memorable moments on the show?
I think for
No.
okay, I think for me, when the show was coming close to an end, we knew how much we enjoyed being on there, and there was some pretty epic endings to our show when Jen went back to the future, and so I think the ending of the show was pretty memorable to me because we all knew we were going to miss our family and miss it, so I think it's what I remember most.
I remember being forced into that Tarzan outfit. And they gave me a chimp for a pet. He could give a good toe sucking. I'm looking down going, what is that warm feeling? Ooh, that feels kind of good. The chimp's sucking on my toes. That's very memorable.
I could say so much right now.
I wish I don't have to remember hearing that ever. I don't know. There were so many moments. I mean, I was on there for three seasons. There was so much. Doing the movie in Australia, that was amazing. Getting to be there, and it was a lot of fun. And plus, like the drinking age there was 18, and I was like 20, so I was taking advantage of that. So every night I would stay out really late and then have to be at a call like 5 o'clock. It didn't matter to me because I was gonna ride that thing out till the wheels fell off for sure. So that was probably one of my most memorable moments is meeting all the people in Australia and being there with that crew. They were a lot of fun.
Yeah, we shot our show in New Zealand, so I just remember like landing in New Zealand, like where the hell am I? And we were there for like 7 months. So I mean, the entire time it was phenomenal. It's hard to distill it down to one moment, but it was just like one big 7-month moment. It was great. So the whole thing was great.
I love Time Force. That was basically like my favorite series. I'm a fan before anything, Jason, Daniel, Roberta, the show. I'm amazing. And then why I like Time Force so much was because we had a lot of good actors. Everyone was pushing them along. The show was a little bit dark. It wasn't so light, and I loved it. So my biggest memory on my year was doing a reunion episode that they came back to on my season.
You never said that when we were working with you. You were acting so cool. Like everything was under control. Like,
I was actually,
dude, I had no idea, man.
I was in shock with you guys. I was like in awe, like all the time. I was just like, wow, this is awesome. This is the guys, and I was 21 at the time, and this is the guys that I saw on TV. I'm trying to make it just business. I'm passionate about it myself. When I saw you guys in front of me, like, man, this is definitely where I want to be. So I think this memory was worth it. Despite what they said.
In the Power Rangers Turbo movie, when you fell on your back, was that actually rooted through the stunt, or was it a stunt double?
Well, I think that when I actually flew out of the ring, that was like somebody else, but I didn't hurt my back or anything. Like most people think, like it was just part of the story. So, but yeah, I think that the guy that was flying out of the ring, that was somebody else that jumped out. Yeah, he probably hurt his back. Thanks for making my lesson. Thank you guys for coming out.